Oh yeah, here we go. Ah, great groove, killer song. Sounds and feels good every time you hear it. How you doing, everybody? Nick DiVirgilio here. Welcome back to Groovy Thursdays. How do you like that fade out? It's a pretty smooth fade out, right? We are at groove number 10 here at Groovy Thursdays with this tune from Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Now, I was really fortunate to play in the band Tears for Fears for quite a long time, from 1995 to 2010, and I played this song live with them hundreds and hundreds of times. It's a song that made them a household name around the world. It's a great track. It feels good and sounds good every time you hear it, even if you've heard it 1,000 times. It still just stands up to this day like you heard it, back in the 80s and 90s when I was a kid hearing this tune before I ever got in the band. So it's a lot of fun to play, and it's not a hard groove to play. There's just nuance to the groove. Now we got to talk about how the groove came about first. This is a programmed sequenced groove. There's some live elements layered in the overall mix, but it's a programmed thing. So as human beings, copying a sequenced program groove is always going to be a little bit more difficult to make it sound exactly like the record, but we can get close. And it's all about what's happening in the hi-hat. That's what makes this groove special. So let's get into it right now. Groove number 10, Everybody Wants to Rule the World from Tears for Fears. Let's go. The groove is in 4/4 time at around 114 BPM. That's what I put on the transcription, but you can take it up a tick or two, down a tick or two, and it'll still feel really good. It's only a bar long. It just keeps repeating and repeating and repeating with fills to, outline the different transitions of the songs to get you into the next section. But really, it's the same thing over and over and over again. So it's about consistency. If you can kind of keep this going for 4 minutes, you've done something really good. Now, the bass of this groove is all around triplets, and it's really just a shuffle. Do, 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And the kick drum pattern. Boom, 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 boom. You put a backbeat on 2 and 4. Boom, boom, ka, boom, 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 ka, boom, 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 ka, boom, 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 ka. That's a shuffle. If you wanted to, you could play that same pattern with your right hand and have a Chicago style shuffle. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. So really, that's it. So if you can play a basic shuffle, you can play this groove. Again, the nuance is all in the hi-hat pattern, okay? So whether you're a right-handed player, left-handed player, open-handed player, whatever hand you use for the hi-hat, this is where the magic happens in this groove. The triplets are happening every quarter note. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, and so on. Now, to explain this groove right here, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. It's so fast. Saying it like that is much easier for these lips, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, the key here is just accenting every other beat of the triplet. So starting at beat 1, you accent the second note of the triplet. So 1, 2, 3. Then on beat 2, you accent the first and third notes of the triplets. So 1, 2, 3. Now, I know it sounds a little bit weird when I talk about it, but listen to this. So here's your pulse, like this, okay? Now, if I just say the triplets without any accents, it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, just kind of monotone. But if I accent with my voice every other beat of the triplet, it sounds like this. Here's your pulse. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It sounds funny when you do it with your voice, but if you could do that with your voice while you're clapping, you will help out yourself playing this groove, transitioning to your hi-hat hand. It makes it way easier. Do that with any groove that is difficult in an odd time, something you just can't feel. See if you could sing it first and then play it. So again, just to reiterate, because this groove, again, is pretty simple. It's all about this hi-hat pattern. You have the shuffle in the foot and the hand, and it's about the hi-hat pattern. So let's sing it one more time before we finish this video. It's a short video today. Here we go. So one more time. Here's your pulse. I'll even slow it down a little bit. Here's a little slower. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now with the accents of every other beat of the triplet. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay? Now, see if you can't sing the whole thing with the accents and the backbeat. See if you can't sing that out. Let's try it. Okay, here we go. Now, this is not really singing. This is more just kind of mouthing the beats, but you get the idea here. So check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try that out. It makes it so much easier. Then sing your hi-hat pattern with your hi-hat hand, and you'll get it. So it's just now, if you could get that transition from mouthing the groove to your hi-hat hand, you're golden. Once you start, it's just this sort of perpetual motion sort of groove. It rolls downhill. Once you start, you sort of can't stop. Now, one thing I will say about the kick drum pattern, and I don't hear many drummers do it this way, but it's how I did it for all those years in the band. And I'm pretty sure I hear it in the programmed pattern on the record, and no one told me any different when I was in Tears for Fears, is that when the snare hits, I'm also playing the kick drum. So the kick drum pattern is always, it's just constantly going boom, 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 boom. And you add the snare on the backbeat on 2 and 4. You don't take away the kick drum when you play the backbeat snare, okay? The kick drum is still underneath it. I think that gives weight to the groove and weight to the backbeat, okay? So boom, boom, ka, boom, 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 ka, boom, 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 ka, boom, 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 ka. With that flowing motion of the hi-hat pattern, accenting every other note of the triplet, it's just a magical groove. It works so well, and it's instantly recognizable whenever you hear this tune. And there you go, groove number 10 in our Groovy Thursdays hang. Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears. Not a hard groove to play, just nuanced. If you can play a shuffle, you can play this groove. So I encourage you to talk it out like that and then transition it from your voice to your hands, and you're golden. Nice discipline in this groove. Remember the pocket. Lay that backbeat on 2 and 4 nice and solid, and it's a lot of fun to play and a great practice tool. It really is. Like always, I encourage you to record and film yourself playing this groove, post it up. I would love to see what you do with it. Keep bringing on those suggestions. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video with all your friends, all those internet things, and come back next week for groove number 11 in our Groovy Thursdays hang. Thanks for watching, everybody. See ya.